California is now going electric. And a major story overnight from California Governor Gavin Newsom, who came out at the podium and announced that California will, in fact, halt the sales of gasoline-powered passenger cars and trucks by 2035. Done. No more gas-powered cars in California by 2035. Whoa, 15 years. I know it seems like that, a long time away. Gives them enough time to slow this down. 15 years, which, by the way, is climate experts agree that if we don't dramatically cut greenhouse gas emissions in the next 12 years, we are on an unsustainable path. All of the data right now suggests that we've got to do it. We have like a narrower window than 15. But hey, hallelujah, congratulations to California. This is a pretty big deal. So here is Gavin Newsom at the podium. I want to talk about this because there's so many pieces of this that I find interesting.
To the production of petroleum fuels. And we'll do that by setting forth a goal, firm goal, that by 2035, in the next 15 years, we will eliminate in the state of California the sales of internal combustion engines. We will move forward to green and decarbonize our vehicle fleet here in the state of California. As a consequence, substantially reducing greenhouse gas emissions as well as oxide nitrogen, meaning NOx emissions here in the state of California.
Now, this is a big deal. Now, before this happened, okay, let's go back to the 1990s. Now, many of you probably don't know this story. I find it utterly fascinating, and there's an amazing documentary that you have to watch called Who Killed the Electric Car? We talked about it in the morning newsletter this morning. But, the 1990s, California tried this before. They put in, they put very, very strong emission standards in place. And what happened? Well, the car industries, the car manufacturers and big oil basically upended the apple cart, called on their legislatures to overturn it, rip up that standard, and rolled back those regulations. So they won. And what happened, interestingly, too, General Motors at the time was developing their EV1 car because they knew, look, hey, California is the biggest economy in the country. And if we can't sell our cars in California because they want to eliminate greenhouse gas emissions or reduce it, that was just a reduction at that time, not even get rid of it, but make us go all electric, we better come up with an electric car. So General Motors, to their credit, grabbed the bull by the horns. And they started building the EV1. You know this car? Do you remember the EV1?
Here it is. Odd experience.
This is the EV1. I'll show you some better pictures of it here. Let's see. This is the document. Here's the EV1. So this is the documentary, Who Killed the Electric Car? And that was the EV1 when it rolled out by General Motors. And there was a waiting list to buy them. People were super excited about it. They sold out of them. People were crazy for this car. But what happened? Well, big automakers and big oil, they won. They won this battle, and they went after the California legislature, basically had them throw it out. So General Motors took all of these cars. They went around when the leases were up to all of these owners that bought these cars, and they said, okay, your lease is up. We're going to take the car back now. We're going to take the car back, and you can't buy it. The people are like, no, I want to buy the car. No, I want to buy the car. I love my electric car. You can't take it. What are you going to do? Literally, General Motors showed up at their door and took the cars back. And you had environmentalists saying, we'll buy all of them. We'll do what we can. Let's buy them up ourselves. You're going to discontinue the car now? We're not going to have any of these cars on the roads in California anymore? No, and they actually showed up at people's houses with flatbed trucks. And towed them. And then they took them, this was amazing bit of journalism, they took them to a junkyard where they then ground them up, literally put them into shredders. People spray painted on the front of it and said, please don't take my car, please don't take my car. They took these electric cars and they ground them up and they put them in shredders and shredded them like down into little fine pieces of metal. Isn't that amazing? It's an amazing story. That's California. So my question is, Will automakers, will big oil get on board with this? Chances are probably not. Now, at least some of the automakers have already come out and said we support California. Ford, to their credit, issued a statement saying they're proud to stand with California, noting that it's in the process of right now trying to electrify our most iconic nameplates like the Ford F-150 and the Mustang Mach-E. So they're trying to make electric across their entire line right now. So good for Ford. Volkswagen also trying to roll out their all-new electric SUV. We've seen Tesla, of course, become one of the most profitable automakers. So there's a demand for electric cars. This is where we're going. But, the argument, what's amazing to me is that there's so much ignorance around electric cars. That as if this is like some sort of a new technology, because they would have you believe this. But once we built the the interstate highway system, and once big oil got its hands in the United States, there was no going back. We needed to continue to make money off of big oil. They bought politicians for years. That was their strategy. Increase their profits. Why was Exxon the most profitable country in the world up until recently, until Apple overtook them? And the reason is because big oil controlled everything, and that's how politicians were paid, but all of their big donors. So no, they weren't going to push for environmental regulations. They weren't going to push for a reduction of greenhouse gas emissions in this country. Look what President Trump did. He rolled all of those back because they're all bought and sold by these guys. But interestingly, what a lot of people don't know is that the very first cars in the world were electric. Even Woodrow Wilson, President of the United States, loved taking drives in his electric car. That was one of his favorite things to do on the weekend, is drive in his electric car. I mean, the first electric cars, take a look at them.
Model T sold for about $2.
They were all electric. These original cars were electric. Jay Leno actually has, and Jay Leno actually has some of these in his garage, some of these original electric cars. Yeah, that's what they were. So anyone who says, well, this is like new technology, it's not really tested yet. Oh, really? Yeah. Woodrow Wilson would drive around in an electric car. It was all the rage. So the fact that it's taken this long, folks, the only reason it's taken this long is because of corporations and Wall Street. That's it. The only reason. Because there wasn't money in it. Because, there was money in it, but big oil kept politicians bought and sold and never wanted them to increase regulations on the combustion engine until now. And now you're seeing it. So good on California. So my question is, though, by 2035, will this come true? Will we see this major shift? I mean, this is a big, big move. So congratulations, California. Way to go. Now let's see if they can actually pull it off. If you agree with me, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to also hit up our daily newsletter. We publish this everydaymorninginvest.com, where we cover stories like this. In fact, this morning we had a deeper dive on the electric car in the newsletter today. We have a link in there, too, if you want to check out that Who Killed the Electric Car documentary. Check that out as well. Really great documentary. You can watch the whole thing right here on YouTube for free. So I'm going to have a link below in this video where you can watch that whole documentary. It is fascinating stuff. Just watch it. It's like an hour long. It's really good.